So thank you all for joining. I really appreciate you guys giving me your time. Just a really quick short story in the email that I sent you. I mentioned how I've been using this budget for over 20 years. And the reason I created it was I had a crazy ex and he left us broke all the time. And if I didn't budget every single penny, I wouldn't be able to pay the bills. So that's literally how I learned how to budget. Like my parents never sat me down to teach me how to do a budget. I had to make it myself and figure it out. So we're just going to do a really simple review of the budget template, and then I'm going to go over basically how I use it and how I make it really useful for myself. There's literally nothing new under the sun. Anything is about using it. It's not about how complicated the template is. It's all about making it simple and something that you actually do. Because if you could have the best budget in the whole world, if you don't actually use it, then it's pretty much a waste of time. So can you guys see my screen? I think guys already started sharing. Okay, perfect. So I just want to do a quick tour of the template. Let me go back to the screen. Okay, so I kind of want to start over here to the right in the debt section. So this is probably one of the most important sections that you're going to have to fill out, and it's probably going to take a little bit of time. So a lot of times we don't know all the debts that we have. We have to really sit down purposefully, pull out all the credit cards, log into all the credit card statements, auto loans, student loans. You may know that you have a bill, but you don't even know what your interest rate is. You're not really sure what your minimum monthly payment is. So once you get this information in here, this is going to clarify so many things for you. It's going to show you your interest rate, right? So obviously, we normally want to attack things with a higher interest rate, or we want to attack things with the lowest balance. So let's say you've got a credit card with $100 on it. You might just want to pay that off and call it a day, move on to the next big fish. Or if you've got something that's a really high interest rate, like a 22%, you might want to tackle that. So once you get this debt section right, this is going to help you create goals for yourself, and it's going to give you focus on what it is that you want to accomplish. Okay. You also want to keep track of the due dates so that you can align the due date to your paycheck. So in this specific example, we're doing someone who gets paid twice a month. That's usually how often people get paid. On the other template in the same spreadsheet, there is if you get paid every week. And you can easily just change this template by just adding lines to it. If you're familiar with Excel, it's very easy. If you're not, I can always help you with that. But if let's say you have a 3 paycheck month, you can always just add some lines, add a paycheck, and just, edit it as you see fit. Okay. So the next really easy piece is the middle section is your savings section. So again, figure out all your bank accounts. How many accounts do you have? How many of them actually have a savings balance? Not checking, right? This is just for savings and it does not include investments. This is cash. So bring your starting balance over to the top, and then each paycheck you can set aside whatever that amount is for you, and you make it a bill for yourself. So you see in paycheck two, I have $40 here, right down here in paycheck two, line 20, I'm saving $40. So you can see that that's cell B20. You can type in $40. You can say equals B20 for the cell. It depends on how familiar you are with Excel. You can print this out and fill it in with your pen, pencil. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you use it. So I make my savings like a bill. So every month or every paycheck, as soon as I get paid, I already know all the line items that I'm going to pay that month. I already know how much money is coming in. I already know how much money is going to be left over from each check. And then I will assign a savings amount, like a bill, like if it was an electric bill. And then as soon as I get paid, that money goes to my savings account. So that money does not sit in your checking account. You don't wait until the end of the pay period, right? To figure out, oh, this is how much I have left, and then I'm going to save it. You set a realistic savings amount and you make it a bill and you make it consistent every single check. There's going to be some checks where you can't save. Like maybe you've got a huge bill coming through, not a problem. But if you just consistently make your savings a bill, you're much more likely to actually save money. I think most people know what high yield savings accounts are, right? So you don't normally want to just have a plain old savings account getting like 0.01% interest at your bank. You want to be getting at least 3.5, 4%. That's kind of normal right now. You should be earning some kind of interest on your money. So then each paycheck or each month, right, you can add in your line items for your savings. and you can add in your line item for interest. Or if you have like side gigs, let's say you do DoorDash or you sold something on Marketplace or whatever the case may be, you can add some miscellaneous items, line items, so that you can keep track of that savings as well and just keep throwing it in there. Go ahead, Kenya. Your hands up.
Sorry, I had to find the unmute button.
That's okay.
Um, Question for you.
Hmm.
So I have a regular savings that has a decent amount in it,
Hmm.
and I have a money market.
Hmm.
So my question is, this regular savings that I have, should I move that to a high yield? And then the market money, should I also move that to a high yield savings account?
Okay, so usually a money market is treated like a checking account. So is your money market,
Oh,
is that your actual checking account or is it just a
no,
money market?
that's separate.
Okay, so it's supposed to have like a higher interest rate, most likely. Okay,
Okay.
I would check and see what you're actually getting paid in interest on each of
Uh-huh.
those accounts.
Uh-huh.
And then do some research. You just type in high yield savings account, highest high yield savings account. You can check with your existing bank. Bank with
Okay.
PNC, and PNC Bank has its own high yield savings account. So sometimes your
Okay.
own bank offers different types of accounts that you can just transfer your money into, and you don't even have to change
Okay.
banks to make it simple.
Okay. Okay.
But definitely see how much you're actually getting paid in interest. If you have any kind of savings at all, you want to be
Okay.
getting more than just that little measly
Yeah.
0.01% that the bank gives you. They're hoping that you're not paying attention and they're
Okay.
letting your money sit there and they're making money off of you and you're not making any money.
Gotcha. So the money market is like a checking account. So I don't really need to really worry about that one, just a regular savings.
If you use it as a checking account. If not,
Okay.
then it could be just you, if your money's just sitting there, it could make sense to transfer it over. I like to
Okay.
always
Makes
keep
sense.
a local bank.
Mm-hmm.
I have my local, well, PNC is local and it's online. So I keep my
Okay.
local bank account where I have a certain amount of money that I can access at all times. And your high
Okay.
yield savings account may take a day or two or three to transfer that money. So you don't want
Okay.
to put all your money over there, right? You want to have some like emergency fund money accessible to you and then
Gotcha.
have your high yield savings account. That's the money you don't touch. That's your long-term savings.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Mhm. All right. Okay, so we're going to slide on over again to the left. And basically, I just put some line items in here and I started filling in things just as examples, right? So mortgage or rent, your credit card bills, your utilities, your cell phone. If you're paying a lot of money for your cell phone, you should switch to Mint Mobile. I pay $240 a year for my phone. If you have life insurance, if you have beauty, like almost all of us spend some type of money in our beauty every month, whether it's hair, nails, skincare, makeup, whatever. And sometimes we don't keep track of exactly how much we're spending. You're definitely your grocery budget, gas, miscellaneous things like tolls, subscriptions, just try to think of everything. Like you want to go through your bank statements from the previous months and you want to take a good hard look at what you're actually spending money on and how much you're actually spending. Because a lot of times we think, oh, I'm spending about this much on groceries. And then when you actually calculate, it's sometimes double what you think you're actually spending is. So before we get too deep into that, just quickly on the spreadsheet. So if you type in here at the bottom your paycheck, you got paycheck one and paycheck two. Let's say my paycheck is now $2,000. Maybe I got a bonus, right? So that changes my leftover money. So that changes what I can do. See, I don't really have a savings in here yet. I could change my miscellaneous to savings. And let's see, I'm going to take that little bonus and I'm going to sock it away. And I'm going to pop it over here into my savings section, right? If your money is inconsistent every paycheck, you should always budget based on the lowest amount that you expect. In that case, if you get paid more than that, then great. That's like almost like found money, and you can put that towards debt or savings. But most of us get paid a consistent paycheck. So basically, you want to keep track of your due dates, right? And you want to align your due date to your paycheck. So 9 times out of 10, you're always better off aligning the bill to the previous paycheck. So basically, if I have my rent or my mortgage due on the first and I get paid on the last day of the month, right? I want to pay my first half of the month bills with my last paycheck. of the previous month, right? I don't want to pay it with my 15th paycheck, right? Because then I'm going to be behind 2 weeks. So always try to align the bills slightly prior to when they're due. So that way you're never rushing. Some of us get paid every 2 weeks, right? And then the dates kind of shift. And then we don't always have our money aligned specifically with the due dates for our bills. So always try to line them up sooner rather than after. You'll be a lot safer. Until you can get to the point where you have a little bit of buffer in your checking account, you may not be able to do that yet, but that could be something that you could grow into as time goes by. But I find I always like to pay in advance. So when I get paid on the 31st, the very first, I'm paying my mortgage immediately. I'm not waiting until the last day it could possibly be sent. So that's the very basics of the spreadsheet. Okay, are there any questions with just that? Okay, all right, so I'm going to
I
tell you,
do.
oh,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Really quick. I know
Hmm.
you mentioned something about the cell phone, and
Hmm.
it intrigued me because you said a year and you said $200, 200 something dollars. I'm like, oh, really?
Well,
Um,
yeah,
is that
yeah.
like all over, or is that just like the company, the phone company? Like, is that somebody
Oh,
the
Mint
in
Mobile? Yeah, you can get that
Yeah,
anywhere. It's the company that has like Ryan Reynolds as their spokesperson. Have you seen him?
never heard of it.
Yeah, I can send you a link for it. Just DM me and I'll
Okay,
send you a link.
okay, okay.
But yeah, I
Thank
got
you.
mines and my son's. We're both on Mint
Mhm.
Mobile. I pay $240 a year, but you pay it for the full year in advance. That's how you get the lower rate. Plus, I'm always home. So I pick
Yeah,
kind of like a medium plan where I'm 9 times out of 10 going to be on Wi-Fi anyway. So,
okay.
it's not an unlimited plan, but honey, you save money.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Actually, actually, they're running an offer.
Mhm.
If you pay for 3 months, you do get the unlimited data, and
Oh,
it works out to be
yeah,
$25 a
they're
month.
always having deals. It's always something. But yeah, I'll send you a link from mine so you can get like a referral or something. All right. So basically, the reason why I love this spreadsheet so much is because I make this spreadsheet um, a month, right? So let's say this is July at the bottom, right? So then I just copy this sheet, create a copy, right? I'm going to put it here, right? And then this is now going to be, let's say it's September. Oh no, it's already September here. Let's say this is October, right? So everything that was in September is now in October. And I do this for every single month throughout the whole entire year. I just create a copy of the previous month, and you were eventually going to have a full year's budget. And then next year, when you have all of one year done, you can go back and copy your January, your February, your March, your April. And you will automatically get reminded of, oh, I have my car insurance bill that's due every April. I have a trip that I do every June. I have back to school shopping that I do every August. And you'll have those line items already in there from the year before, and you won't have to remember. Your budget will remind you that you have those things coming up. So that's my favorite thing about this spreadsheet. And I cry and I weep because I lost my spreadsheet when my last job when I got laid off. I regret not saving it properly. And I had years and years and years and years and years of my budget in here. And then at the end of the year, you can also create another sheet for taxes. So if there's any line items that you need for taxes, like I have to keep track of things for tax, I create a summary for my tax year. I keep that in my budget template. I have a forward-thinking budget for when I retire. I have all of my bare bones expenses in there, right? So you can continue to add and build this spreadsheet as the years go on, and you can have a decade's worth of your expenses in here, and you'll know what you spent money on in, February of 2027, which I love because I can just go back to any month and figure out what I was doing and how much money I spent and or all my transactions and expenses. All right, so the other thing I like to do is this. So I highlighted these leftovers in yellow just so you could see them. But what I really like to do is when a bill is scheduled, I make it yellow. So I use my online bill pay at my bank. I think a lot of people are just paying their individual bills. Like, oh, I log into this website, I log into this website, I log into this. It's like logging into 50 websites. I put all my bills into my online bill pay. Back in the day, you used to have to pay for online bill pay. I think it was like $10 a month. Now it's free. So I can go in advance and schedule all my bills. So when my bills are scheduled or they're automated, right, for the bills that are consistent, right, every single month, I make it yellow. And then when that money actually exits my checking account, then I make that orange. So I know that I scheduled it and I know it's paid and I know the money went through my account. So this leftover dollar amount that you see here at the bottom should line up and match with the money you actually have in your checking account. So your checking account is always balanced in your spreadsheet. You never have to wonder, oh, how much money do I actually have? Or did this bill go through? It doesn't matter because you already have them lined up here. Whether or not they took the money out doesn't matter. You're working off the leftover dollar amount, not the dollar amount that you're seeing in your checking account. And you can go back and kind of audit it every once in a while. Okay, did that bill go through? Like once you actually have this spreadsheet up and running, this literally takes minutes a day, right? You're going to have to do some work up front to get it here, but you should only be checking your bank account, seeing which transactions went through. I turn them orange. Sometimes I double check my leftover and make sure my dollar amount's right. And that's it, 5 minutes. So what I recommend for the first time using the spreadsheet is that you do not try to do a forward-looking budget. Do not do September. Don't even do August yet, right? I want you to go back and do July. Look at what you actually spent in July and look at your real numbers and plug it in retroactively. That's going to give you a much better idea of what you're actually spending. So you're not guessing, right? This is for your variable expenses, right? Like your gas, your groceries, and things like that. So you want to have a realistic budget. So you have to start with what you're actually spending, not what you wish you were spending, right? It can't be a Delulu budget. It has to be practical and has to be something you can actually follow. Because if not, you're going to set yourself up for failure immediately, and then you're going to be like, trash this budget. I don't want to do this anymore. So if you're really spending $1,000 a month on groceries, you can't just cut back to 500 and think everything's cool. Oh yeah, I'm going to start spending 500 now. No, you're not going to do that. Maybe cut back to 900, cut back to 800, cut back to 750, something realistic, right? In my blog, there's several posts about money and how to save money when it comes to your budget and like how you plan your meals and cooking at home and all that other good stuff. So you have to make sure your budget is realistic and you have to make sure you're not forgetting things. So, excuse me, as the months go by, you're going to perfect it, right? So then you can do August, right? August is almost done. Let me grab a sip real quick. So you can plug in where you are currently with August. And then you can add any line items that haven't gone through yet or you haven't paid yet. And then at the end of August, you're like, okay, you've got another realistic month of spending. So then you can project September. Copy the spreadsheet over, create it for September, change your due dates, right? Double check your amounts. And then you should have a better idea of what you're actually going to be spending in September. If you have trouble with any one area, what I recommend is to take that out in cash. So if you're overspending in groceries and you want to cut that back, let's say you're spending 2,000 and now you want to spend 1,000. So each paycheck, you're going to take out 500 bucks. You're going to split that up in 250 to 250 for each week. And then when you actually go to the store with cash in hand, you're much less likely to overspend. And then any money that you have left over rolls over into the next week, rolls over into the next pay period. So then you have a little bit of a surplus. So that's how I would recommend if you're having any areas where you're overspending, try to move that to cash. All right. Any questions so far? Okay, I think we've touched on most of it. So that's the basics of the budget tracker. Again, do not expect it to be perfect coming out the gate. Do your months retroactively to get a realistic amount that you're actually spending, and then start to forecast for the future and keep copying those months to month and try to think about, okay, in the fall, I do this. So I usually have this extra expense in the fall. In the spring, I have this. So I have these extra expenses in the spring. And I always create my budget for the whole year in advance. So like at the end of this year, I would go back into my budget template. I would copy every single month into 2026 and I would just update them a little bit and I would already have 2026 projected. Boom, takes like, I don't know, less than an hour. So that's how the budget can build over time. All right. Oh, looks like we got Nanya joining. Don't worry. I think we're recording and I'm planning to put it into a private YouTube that we can share. So whatever you missed, you can go back. Okay.
Great, thank you.
Yeah. So let's see if I can get it all done right. Okay. All right. So I think we went over the majority of everything. Nanya, did you have any specific questions that you wanted to ask since we're about to switch gears right now?
No,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay. All right, cool. So if nobody has any specific questions, then we just want to do a quick recap, and I want to put some information into the chat for you guys for additional resources. All right, so I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I'm going to do a little copy paste here. So give me 1 second. All right. So Nanya, in the chat, there should be some more information there as well. Okay. So I just wanted to highlight some of the resources that I have for you guys. So basically in here, like as far as free resources, you have my blog, right? YourMeanestBFF.com. My blog already has some of these topics that we've talked about, already written about. There is a free additional 30-minute goal setting session you can schedule just for yourself and versus this group setting. And also there's a link. Oh, I don't think it's coming up here properly, but I will be emailing out a link for Empower. If you don't already have an app that tracks your transactions and kind of summarizes what you're spending for you, you should have one. So this used to be Mint a couple years ago, and then Mint went away, so I had to find something else free because I refuse to pay for any kind of budgeting apps. So the Empower dashboard, you just log in with all of your accounts and you'll be able to see all your balances. You'll be able to see exactly how much you have in all your accounts, and you'll be able to see all your transactions, and it will auto summarize them for you. So you can see exactly how much you're spending versus gas and groceries and things like that, the stuff that's a little bit hard to keep track of. I recommend, if you don't have one, sign up with Empower. All right. For those of you that are aware, I did write a book 2 years ago, Your Meanest Best Friend's Guide to Personal Finance. It is on paperback at Amazon, and on my website, there is the ebook, which is obviously a little bit cheaper. You can download at the store. In the store, there's also coaching packages. So for those of you that it's actually attended the Zoom call, if you follow me on Instagram at Your Meanest BFF and you post and tag about today's workshop, then if you buy a coaching package, I'm going to double all your hours. So if you bought a 1 hour package, you're going to get 2 hours. If you buy a 3 hour package, you'll get six. And if you bought an 8 hour package, you'll get 16 hours. So this is just for the people who attend the Zoom call, especially for you guys who took your time out today to give me a chance to learn about my free budget template. So those are all the resources that I have for you today. Oh, and anybody else wants the Mint Mobile referral, then also hit me up either an email or an Instagram, and I can send that to you as well, so you can save money on your phone bill. All right, we are at the end. So unless somebody has any additional questions, I'll give you 1 more minute and then we'll wrap it up.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
So this was very eye-opening for me. Matter of fact, I don't like talking to cameras when I'm not on the screen. This was very eye-opening for me. I definitely need to budget. And I call myself budgeting. I'm like, you're lying, you're not budgeting. For real.
Mm.
But the question is, do you offer like other coaching things other than like budgeting around finances?
You mean other topics?
Yes.
Yes. Well, actually, I'm really passionate about like everything. I almost consider myself
Okay.
more of a life coach. So I don't
Mm-hmm.
really think about budgeting as just numbers, right? I think it has
Mm-hmm.
to do so much more with what's going on with your personal life, the decisions that
Mm-hmm.
you've made, what problems that you're having, especially for women. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything that we do and all the choices that we make in life affect our money, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you married the wrong guy, your money's messed up. You have 3 kids, your money is more difficult, right?
Yeah.
So it's not just about dollars and cents. It's about what's going on in your life. How can you tweak it so that you can make better money decisions? And how, when
Mm-hmm.
you have your money better and your money like in a more powerful place, then you're able to also make a lot better decisions because you're coming from a place of power because you have money. So that's the
Right.
goal.
Yeah. Yeah, I have accounts and stuff like that, but it's like hard for me to be like, okay, well, I should open this type of account or that kind, that kind of
Mhm.
stuff.
Yeah, don't
So,
get too wrapped up in the types of accounts. That is
hmm
something that can easily be fixed later, right?
Okay.
That's like minimal. Like I think a lot of
Okay.
times people get wrapped up in the details when you
Yeah.
have to get into the basics, right? So
Okay.
this is all about basics. Do you know how
Okay.
many accounts you have?
hmm
Do you know how many credit cards you have? Do you know your
Yes.
balances? Do you know your
hmm
interest rates? Do you know
Yes.
all, because a lot of times people are like, oh, I forgot all about that account, right? So you
hmm
have to be aware and just take stock of where you stand today. And then from there, you can decide what changes you want to make. So if you're
Okay.
like, you know what, I really want to retire one day, I'd rather not buy shoes or go on 3 vacations. I would rather
hmm
funnel that money to retirement. So you have to start thinking about your future. That's one of the things I talk about in the book is that we do
hmm
like a future exercise and you have to dream of your future. If you thought of your
Okay.
dream future, what would it look like? And then
Yeah.
what steps would you have to take to get there? So the goal is
Okay.
to really think about what you want to do and
hmm
then go work backwards to get there.
And if we do a coaching we can that can be discussed in the coaching
Hmm?
package, right?
Oh,
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
No, this is not like we're diving into the numbers the first day. No, we can discuss your goals. We can
Okay.
figure out what exactly you want to work on first, and we'll take it piece by
Mhm.
piece. That's another
Okay.
thing that I mentioned in the book is that I make it each chapter is really short, and at the end of each chapter there are action items. So
Okay.
you know exactly what to do next, and you take the
hmm
smallest step that you can take to get you to the next step, right? The point is to
Okay.
just move forward little by little and not get
Gotcha.
overwhelmed.
Okay. And to tag you on Instagram, we just, put I attended
Yeah,
the
if
and
you
just put
got
your tag. Okay.
yeah, if you got benefit out of it, if you liked it, if it's something that you would recommend to your friends or your family,
Yeah.
then awesome.
Mhm.
That'll be
Okay.
great. Because
Awesome. All right.
I'm unemployed, so I have nothing but time. I want to help people with their money. I think every woman should be a millionaire, and I really mean that.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
Hey, thank you so much. This is really you've simplified it really very well.
Good. I'm so happy, Ashwini. We need to get a catch up on what's going on in your personal life.
Yes, 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 we
So
will.
yeah, don't forget you can also schedule a free 30-minute coach goal setting session. So if you're not ready to book a package yet, you can do the goal setting session. We can
Yeah.
discuss what you want to do, and then, if you want to move forward from there, it's completely up to
Yes. Thank you so much.
you. All right. Did you add your Roth IRA contributions to this list? Um, no, because I personally, I'm not contributing to a Roth because I don't qualify for one. I would have to convert all my traditional IRA to Roth and then start to contribute again. So what I did is I front loaded my 401k and I was trying to max that out every year. And I wasn't so much concerned with my Roth because I have traditional IRAs that I was going to wait until after I was retired to start converting them because you have to pay taxes on all that. And it becomes a hefty number. So unfortunately for me, when I started, like Roth wasn't as big of a thing. I don't even know if it existed back 20 plus years ago. I don't know. But I didn't know about it until after I already had traditional IRAs. So I'm kind of stuck right now. V's out here changing lives. Thanks, Caitlin. All right, well, we've got 4 minutes left. So I want to give anybody a chance to speak before we wrap it up. If not, then I will thank you all for joining. Going once, going twice. This is what I always do in my calls.